So hello guys, welcome back to the Complete Python series. In this video, we are going to see about the list in Python. Before moving further, let us see what is a list. List is nothing but a data structure which is used to store data in a single variable. List in Python is same as the array. The only difference is that the array stores the values of same data type, but in list we can store multiple values which are of different data type. Lists are mutable and indexed, where indexing starts from 0. It means that in list we can add element and change the elements. List also allows us to store duplicate elements. In this figure we can see that we have a list, and in list we are storing some characters, that is P, Y, T, H, O and N. And suppose we want to access the character P from the list, then we can use 0 as an index or -6 as an index. Similarly, if we want to access N from the list, we can use 5 as an index or -1 as an index. If we want to access element in forward direction, we should use positive index, that is from 0 to the end of the list. And if we want to access elements in the backward direction, we have to use negative indexing, that is -1, -2 and so on. Now let us see some basic concepts of list. So the first point is to create a list. To create a list we have two methods. The first method is using square brackets, that is li equal to square brackets. It means that we have taken one variable li and initialize it to square brackets. So here an empty list li is created. Now we can store some elements in list. Here list of 4 elements is been created. Now the second method to create list is by using list function. So L equal to list. This list function will create an empty list. Now let us see how to print a list. To print a list we can use print function and pass the list into it. You can see that the list li is been printed. In earlier videos we have seen how to slice a string. Similarly, list also supports slicing. Slicing is nothing but an accessing a part of a list, that is from starting point to an ending point. Now let us create a list li and initialize it to some elements. Here I have created a list which consists of 7 elements. Now let us slice a list from 1 to 3. So for that we will use list slicing. So for slicing we use list name. Then in square bracket we pass the starting index, that is 0, and then the ending index plus 1. Now here we want to slice list from 1 to 3. So the index of 1 is 0, the index of 2 is 1 and the index of 3 is 2. So after this colon we have to pass the ending index plus 1. So we will pass it as 3. Now this will slice the list from 1 to 3. Let us check it. You can see that we have successfully sliced the list and we have 1, 2 and 3 as an output. Now suppose we want to get all the element except the last 3 elements, then we can use slicing along with negative indexing. That is li in square bracket, I will leave starting index as blank, so it will by default consider it. And in ending index we can pass -3. This -3 indicates that we want to leave last 3 elements and get the remaining elements. So let us check it. You can see that we have got output as 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the last three elements 5, 6 and 7 are being discarded. Now let us see how to get alternate elements from the list. Here I will leave starting and ending index as blank, so it will consider it by default, and after the second colon we can pass 2. You can see that we have got all the alternate elements from the list. This was all about the slicing in list. Now let us see some basic functions of list. So if we want to calculate the length of the list, we have length as a function. In length function, we have to pass the name of list. Then this length function will return the size of the list. Let us check it. You can see that the size of the list is 7. Now if we want to add elements in the list at the end, then we can use append function. This append functions inserts the data at the end of the list. So we can write li.append, and in this function we can pass the data which we want to insert at the end of the list. So I will pass it as 8. Now let us print the list. Now you can see that initially we had 7 elements in the list. Now after appending 8 to it, you can see that the 8 has been appended at the end of the list. In Python, we have one more function named insert. This insert function is also used for the same purpose as append, but it adds element to a desired place. It takes two arguments, that is element and the index where that element should be inserted. Now let us add 10 to index 3. So li.insert. In insert function, the first parameter is the index at which we want to insert the data. So I will pass it as 3. And the second parameter is the data which we have to insert. So I will pass it as 10. After that, let us print the list. You can see that the 10 is successfully inserted at index 3. If we want to remove a certain element from the list, we can use remove function. Now let us remove one element from the list. So li.remove. And in this remove function, we have to pass the value which we have to remove from the list. So I will pass it as 5. Now let us print the list. Here you can see that the 5 has been removed from the list. Now the next function is clear. This clear function is used to remove all the elements from the list. Let us check it. So li.clear. After using this clear function, it will remove all the elements from the list. Now let us print the list. You can check that we have got output as an empty list. This is because we have used clear function. If we want to find the occurrence of an element in a list, we can use count function. This count function returns the count of particular element that is passed in an argument. So li.count. In this count function, we have to pass an element whose count is to be counted. So I will pass it as 5. Now let us print this. Now you can see that we have got output as 1. This is because in list 5 occurs only one time. Now if we want to find the index of the first occurrence of particular element, we can use index function. So let us check it. So li.index. In this index function, you have to pass the value whose index you want as an output. So let us pass it as 4. Now, after running this code, we can see that the index of 4 is 3. In many of the cases, we require to sort a list. In other programming language, to sort something, we require to write a lot of code. But in Python, to sort a list, we have an inbuilt function sort. This function helps us to sort a list in a single line of code. So let us sort this list li. So li dot sort. This will sort the list in ascending order. Now let us print the list li. Now suppose if we want to sort a list in descending order, we have to pass an extra parameter in sort function, that is reverse equal to true. This will sort the list in descending order. Now let us print it. Now you can see that the first print statement has returned a sorted list in ascending order, and the second statement is sorting the list in descending order. Now if you want to reverse a list, we can use reverse function, that is li.reverse, and after reversing this we can print the list. Here you can see that the list is been reversed. Python also provides a function named pop which will delete the element from the list and store them in a variable. It works on index. So let us check it. So x equal to li dot pop. In this we have to pass a index of element which we want to pop. So I will pass it as 3. Then you can print the value of x. Now you can see that at index 3 we had a value 4, and this value 4 is been popped from the list and stored in a variable x, and after printing this variable x we can get the output as 4. This was all about some basic functions in list. Thank you.